Hey, this is Ryan from Dakota Angler and Outfitter, and today we're going to be tying a Camel light cranefly. This is a Firehole 718 in size 12, and I'm using 50 denier Semperfli Nano Silk thread. Start your shred at the front of the hook. I roped fish last summer on this fly locally here. It was amazing how well this fly did, and it's pretty easy to tie. Kind of build yourself a little thread base at the front here, maybe a third of the way back. And come just a little ways forward from that. And then I'm using check what size this is, a 3/16 tan foam cylinder from Wapsi. Just like this. I'm going to take and burn the end of it, just burn a taper into it, plus it kind of browns it. You can roll it a little bit to get a little more taper to it. And then take and tie it in. You're going to use pretty much the whole length of this foam cylinder. So go ahead and give it kind of a loose wrap or two. Sneak your thread forward. Give a loose wrap or two up here. And then actually tie it down pretty good. Like that. Alright, then you can just put a little bit of super glue. I'm just using brushable. Zap-A-Gap here. Loctite brushable works really good too. Just the nature of this foam always wants to kind of roll, so if you can avoid that, it definitely makes your fly last longer, plus I think it fishes better too. So now I like just covering that glue up with thread, so then you don't have to worry about everything sticking to it quite as much. So we're going to take 2 furnace or brown hackle tips, and I actually like tying them in at the same time, so kind of make sure they're the same length. Kind of set them right on top of the hook. I like kind of pinching one to each side here. Make sure they're still the same length. And just give it like 2 loose wraps. And you can just kind of check that everything's. You want them to kind of cup around the fly like that. Just a little short. Perfect. So you want them just a little longer than the body. I'll zoom this out just a little bit. Perfect. So then give her a couple more good wraps, tie it down, trim off those excess hackles there. You can take and kind of move those around wherever you like to. If you like them above the body or below, maybe just above is probably kind of the place to be, I think. Let me scoot this camera up just a bit. Perfect. So now I'm going to take and I have 6 knotted pheasant tail legs. You can either buy these, or they're actually pretty easy to do. I already have 5 of them pre-done. So this is the tip of a pheasant tail fiber. The easiest way is to grab it by the tip, roll it and make a circle. I'm going to take and thread the butt through that circle and knot it. They're really hard to do if you try and do them with the tip first. So just grab it by the tip and tie it with the butt and you'll be much happier with it. So I've got a clump of 3 of them here. I like these about the same length as the wing. You're going to tie a clump of 3 on each side. You can kind of spread them out. If you look at an actual cranefly, their legs are kind of going all sorts of directions, so don't worry too much about the legs really lining up or being where you want them to be. Sometimes I think a little ruggeder fly might actually catch more fish. Alright, so measure the length on that. Same thing on this side here. Alright, that's all tied down. You can trim off your excess on the front here. Now I'm going to take a brown hackle. This is a cape feather, but the saddle would work just as good or better probably. And we'll tie it in right where we tied everything else down at the rear here. Tie that down. Couple good wraps, bring it straight up to the front. If you want, you can trim this front just a little shorter. So now just keep wrapping this hackle and don't worry about doing too much. You want this fly to float pretty good. You can either dead drift or skitter these. So if you want to skitter it especially, you're going to need quite a bit of hackle on it. So don't be shy. Oops. Alright, that'll work. Sneak your thread in there and get that tied down. With this thread you really only need about 2 wraps because you can pull on it pretty hard. You can take and trim off that hackle stem. Alright, just kind of make sure everything's folded back. I like sneaking my thread in front of the front piece of foam there. And then you can whip finish under that, try and not trap down any additional fibers. Alright, tie that down. And trim off your thread. Then a lot of guys don't trim the bottom of these, but I like going through and just trimming most of the bottom fibers out of there. I think they sit a little more lifelike that way. But definitely, if your fish eat craneflies, this is a fly to have. It was amazing last fall and summer how well I did on this one. So definitely give her a try. Thanks.